It seems as though liberalism's biggest lie is that racism and sexism aren't personal flaws. They're baked into the system's code. We cancel the bigot for clout, but the legacy code of capitalism, patriarchy, and white supremacy keeps grinding, which is not a bug, it's kind of like a feature. More so, I think of society as a vast piece of software, complex and written over centuries by anonymous authors. The systems like capitalism, patriarchy, white supremacy are the legacy code. It's like the foundational architecture. It's a code that was written long ago, built to serve specific brutal functions. It's not elegant or just, but it's just simply what the system's kind of been built upon. It dictates the default settings like resource allocation and user permissions, if that even makes any sense. In which, in this case, racism and sexism are not the bugs in the system's code. It's features of the original design, functions that the system is operating as it's needed. Liberalism just seems like a patch or like a user interface update. It's like aiming to make the system more fairer and acceptable, but something I don't necessarily kind of got off the scale, off the track. It introduces new features like tolerance and equality, but this modern day liberalism doesn't seem to be so tolerable or equal. But it seems as though when a bigot kind of outpours or outcries a lot of racist or sexist remark, patch in the liberalism sort of mindset or what have you, it's supposed to rewrite that and cancel it. Thinking of the system as literally nothing but a bunch of computer sort of overlays or interfaces. If it makes any sense, I kind of doubt it, but I could just be speaking in tongue or whatever. However, what happens when the liberalist overwhelms the system in too much bigotry, too much sexism and racism and whatnot? It seems as though the system keeps producing unequal outcomes because the underlying logic of white supremacy, patriarchy, and the legacy code is still running perfectly and calmly. There are flaws in the system. The user interface kind of looks clean, but it's still kind of running kind of dirty. The manufactured reality in which we live in is one where we're convinced that we're merely users with individual moral settings, when in fact we are running on a systemic operating system that predetermines much of our output in this manufactured consent that we all kind of abide by collectively. It's like we focus on individual errors or error messages, because the alternative would be just to admit that the whole system is flawed and needs a reset. And to admit that would agree with tearing it all down, starting again, which is like a terrifying prospect for those who are at least comfortable with the current interface. My point with all this is just that it seems as though the reality of all of this is that, unfortunately, it seems that this reality is so fucked. And I'm doing my best to keep positive, but it's a work in progress. Not really a work in progress, but it is definitely anyway, rant over. I doubt this makes any sense anyway.